She said, "I have a higher body count than you. Does that bother you?" I smiled and replied, "Not at all." Then I did something so simple it shattered her confidence. The moment she realized why I wasn't bothered. My 29 male was 3 months into dating someone I thought could be the one when she asked me a question that changed everything. We were at her place after dinner, just talking on the couch. Rachel had been acting weird all evening, like she was building up to something. Then she hit me with it. "I need to tell you something. I have a higher body count than you. Does that bother you?" She said it with this defensive edge, like she was ready for a fight. I could see her shoulders tense up, waiting for my reaction. I took a sip of my beer and smiled. "Not at all," she blinked. "Really? Really? Your past is your past. What matters is us, now." The relief on her face was immediate. She practically melted into the couch. "Oh, thank God. My ex made such a big deal about it, called me all sorts of names when he found out." "That's messed up. How many are we talking about anyway?" She bit her lip. 23. I nodded. "Cool. What about you?" 4. She laughed, this light, airy sound. "Wow, I've got you beat by a lot. You're sure that doesn't bother you? Most guys get all weird about it." "I'm not most guys." That's when she said something that should have been my first red flag. "Good. Because honestly, it means I know what I want. I've had plenty of experience to compare you to." The way she said it with this little smirk, something felt off. But I pushed the feeling down. Over the next few weeks, she kept bringing it up. Little comments here and there. When we were out with friends, she'd make jokes about her wild years. When we ran into one of her exes at a bar, she made sure to tell me later which number he was. Then came the comparison comments. "Number 15 did this thing with his tongue. You last longer than number 8, so that's good. Number 19 took me to Paris. Just saying." Each time I just nod and change the subject. But I started keeping track. She was systematically comparing me to every single one of them. My cooking skills, my apartment, my car, my performance in bed, my salary. Everything was held up against the 23 who came before. The breaking point came during her best friend Melanie's birthday party. We were all pretty drunk, playing Never Have I Ever. When it got to Never Have I Ever Had a Threesome, Rachel drank. Then she looked right at me and said, "Numbers 11 and 12. Best night of my life." Everyone laughed. I forced a smile. That's when I decided to do something about it. The next morning, while she was in the shower, I did something I'd never done before. I looked at her phone. I know. Invasion of privacy and all that. But the way she'd been acting, I had to know if I was being paranoid or if something was really wrong. Her group chat with her friends told me everything I needed to know. "He's sweet but kind of vanilla compared to the others. Melanie, give him time. He sounds like a keeper." IDK. I missed the excitement. "Remember Tyler? Now that was a man." "Girl, you said Tyler was toxic AF." "Toxic, but the sex was..." "Maybe I should hit him up. Been thinking about him lately." "What about your BF? What he doesn't know won't hurt him. Besides, I told him my number and he didn't run. He's clearly desperate, lol." I put the phone down, my hands shaking, not from anger, from clarity. I didn't confront her. I didn't make a scene. I just started paying attention. Really paying attention. 2 weeks later, she went on a girls' weekend to Vegas. Posted all over Instagram, pool parties, clubs, brunches. What she didn't post was the guy who appeared in the background of 3 different photos. Same guy, different locations. I recognized him from her Facebook. Tyler, number 16. She came back Sunday night, full of stories about her wild weekend with the girls. I smiled and listened, even helped her unpack. "You have fun?" I asked. "So much fun. Melanie got so wasted she tried to steal a flamingo from the hotel pool." "That's hilarious. Hey, I'm thinking of having a barbecue next weekend. You free?" Her face lit up. "Of course. Your place or mine?" "Mine. I want to do something special." She kissed me. "You're the best." I spent the next week preparing, not for a barbecue, for something much more satisfying. See, while Rachel was comparing me to her body count, she'd revealed a lot about herself. Like how she was insanely competitive, how she hated being shown up, especially by other women, how her entire self-worth was wrapped up in being the one with the most experience, the most stories, the most control. So I decided to take that away from her. Update 1, Saturday arrived. I'd invited about 20 people, mutual friends, some coworkers, a few people from my gym. Rachel showed up early to help set up, wearing this tiny sundress that she kept mentioning Tyler had bought her in the past. "You look nice," I said. She twirled. Tyler always had good taste. "Number 16, right?" She looked pleased that I remembered. "You really do listen." People started arriving around 2. Everything was going great. Good food, cold drinks, perfect weather. Then around 3, my friend Maya showed up. I'd met Maya at a climbing gym a few months back. She was gorgeous, funny, and had this confidence that just radiated off her. Rachel noticed her immediately. "Who's that?" she asked, her voice tight. "Oh, that's Maya. Friend from the gym. Come on, I'll introduce you." Maya was talking to a group of people, making them laugh with some story about her last climbing trip. When she saw me, her face lit up. "Hey you, thanks for inviting me." She gave me a hug that lasted maybe a second longer than necessary. "Maya, this is my girlfriend Rachel." "Rachel, Maya." They shook hands, sizing each other up like fighters before a match. "So how do you two know each other?" Rachel asked. "Rock climbing," Maya said. "This one's been teaching me all his tricks. He's honestly the best climbing partner I've had in years." Rachel's smile tightened. "How nice." The rest of the afternoon, I watched Rachel watch Maya. Every time Maya laughed at someone's joke, every time she touched someone's arm while talking, every time she commanded attention just by being herself. Rachel's face got a little tighter. Then I made my move. We were all sitting around, drinks flowing, when someone suggested truth or dare. Juvenile? Sure, but perfect for what I had planned. When it got to me, I picked truth. My buddy Derek asked, "What's your body count?" I felt Rachel tense beside me. This was it. 4, I said. Then I paused. "Oh wait, actually 5. Forgot about someone." Rachel turned to me. "5? You told me 4. I shrugged. Must have miscounted. How do you miscount something like that? I don't know, it's not really something I think about much. She was about to say more when Maya spoke up. "God, I stopped counting after 30. Who keeps track of that stuff anyway?" The entire group turned to look at her. Rachel's face went pale. 30? Someone asked. Maya laughed. "At least, probably more. I went through a whole phase in college, then traveled for 2 years after. You meet a lot of people when you're backpacking through Europe and Asia." She took a sip of her beer. "But honestly, after a while, numbers don't mean anything. It's about quality, not quantity." "Preach," another friend said. "I'd rather have 4 memorable experiences than 40 forgettable ones." The conversation moved on, but Rachel was silent. I could practically see the gears turning in her head. She'd built her entire identity around being the experienced one, the one with stories, the one who'd been with more people than her partner. And here was Maya, casually mentioning a number that made Rachel's 23 look almost quaint. "I need another drink," Rachel said, getting up abruptly. I found her in the kitchen, pouring vodka straight into her cup. "You okay?" "Fine," she snapped. Then softer. "Sorry, Who is she really?" "I told you. Friend from the gym. Have you slept with her?" "What? No, we're just friends." She studied my face. "She's pretty. So are you. She's been with more people than me." "Ah, there it was. Does that matter?" I asked. "No, I don't know." She took a long drink. She seemed so confident about it. "Why wouldn't she be?" Rachel didn't answer. We went back outside, but the party had shifted. Rachel, who usually dominated conversations with her stories about her adventures, stayed quiet. Every time she started to tell a story about one of her exes, Maya had a better one. Not intentionally. Maya wasn't trying to one-up her. She was just being herself, which made it worse for Rachel. When Maya told a story about skinny dipping in Thailand with a group of locals she'd just met, Rachel tried to counter with her threesome story. But it fell flat. Maya's stories were about adventure and experience. Rachel's were starting to sound like bragging. "I should go," Rachel said around 8, even though the party was still going strong. "Already, but we're about to start the bonfire." "I have a headache." I walked her to her car. She was quiet, keys jangling in her hand. "That was fun," I lied. She looked at me for a long moment. "Do you think I'm boring?" "What? No? Why would you ask that?" "It's just, never mind, I'll text you later." She drove off without kissing me goodbye. Update 2. Rachel didn't text me later, or the next day. When I reached out Sunday evening, her responses were short. "Hey, you feeling better?" Yeah, wanna grab dinner this week? Maybe. I'll let you know Monday at work. I got a text that made me laugh out loud. So are you into her? Don't play dumb. We're just friends. Sure. She's been with a lot of people. So, you've been with a lot too. I told you that doesn't bother me. She didn't respond for hours. Then, Rachel, we need to talk. We met at a coffee shop Tuesday after work. She looked like she hadn't slept well. I've been thinking, she started, about us. Okay. I don't think you really get me. What do you mean? She sighed. You say my past doesn't bother you, but then you invite that woman to your party. Maya? She's a friend. I invited lots of friends. A friend who's been with more people than me. I didn't know that when I invited her. And even if I did, why would that matter? She stirred her coffee aggressively. It just feels like you were trying to make a point. What point would that be? I don't know, that I'm not special, that my experience doesn't matter. I leaned back. Rachel, you're the one who keeps bringing up your body count. You're the one who keeps comparing me to everyone you've been with. I've never once made you feel bad about your past. You made me feel bad Saturday. How? By having a friend who happens to have slept with more people than you? That's not about you. She was quiet for a moment. Then, I saw the way you looked at her. I look at all my friends when they're talking. Not like that. Like what? Like you were interested. In her stories? Yeah, they were interesting. She's traveled the world. I've traveled. To Vegas, with Tyler. Her face flushed. That's not fair. Neither is you constantly comparing me to 23 other guys. The words hung between us. She looked shocked that I'd finally said something. I don't. You do. All the time. Number 8 lasted longer. Number 15 did something with his tongue. Number 19 took you to Paris. Do you have any idea how that feels? I was just being honest. No, you were trying to make me feel inferior. Like I should be grateful you chose me, despite all these supposedly better options. That's not. Rachel, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. I pulled out my phone, scrolled to a screenshot I'd taken of her group chat. Her face went white. Were you with Tyler in Vegas? She stared at the screen. The photo was from Melanie's Instagram story. Rachel and Tyler at what was clearly a hotel bar, his arm around her waist. You went through my phone? Answer the question. We just ran into each other? At multiple locations? Over multiple days? She was silent. Were you with him? I asked again. We just hung out as friends. In his hotel room? Her silence was all the answer I needed. We're done, I said, standing up. Wait. Nothing happened. We just talked. About what? How I'm vanilla compared to him? How you miss the excitement? Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. Yeah, I saw that too. Desperate, am I? I didn't mean, yes, you did. You meant every word. You know what the funny thing is? Your body count never bothered me. What bothered me was how you weaponized it, how you used it to try to make me feel small. Well, congratulations. You don't have to settle for desperate vanilla me anymore. I started to leave. She grabbed my arm. Please. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I didn't sleep with him, I swear. I don't care if you did or not. I'm done being compared to your catalog of exes. Find someone else to feel superior to. Final update. It's been 2 months since I walked out of that coffee shop. Want to know the beautiful irony of it all? Rachel's been texting me. A lot. Started about 2 weeks after our breakup. First, it was angry texts about how I'd manipulated her at the barbecue. Then came the sad texts about how she missed me. Then the really interesting ones started. Can we talk? I've been thinking about what you said. I realize now how shitty I was being. You were the best thing that happened to me. Please just give me another chance. I didn't respond to any of them. But then Melanie, her best friend, reached out. Hey, I know this is weird, but can we talk about Rachel? Curiosity got the better of me. We met for coffee. She's a mess, Melanie said without preamble, like a complete disaster. That's not my problem anymore. I know, I'm not here to try to get you back together. I wanted to apologize. I saw the group chat. I know you know what we were saying. I waited. She's been spiraling since you broke up. She immediately went back to Tyler. He pumped and dumped her in like a week. Then she tried to go through her whole list, hitting up every ex she could find. Most of them are in relationships now. The ones who aren't, well, they remember why they broke up with her in the first place. Again, not my problem. The thing is, Melanie continued, she keeps comparing everyone to you now. It's like, ironic? She spent your entire relationship comparing you to them, and now she's comparing them to you. And they're all coming up short. I couldn't help but laugh. She told me what you did. With Maya at the barbecue. I didn't do anything. I invited a friend to a party. Melanie smiled. Sure, but you knew exactly what would happen when confident, well-traveled Maya mentioned her number. Rachel's whole identity was built on being the experienced one. You took that away from her without saying a word. She took it away from herself. I just introduced her to someone who didn't treat their sexual history like a trophy collection. She gets that now. She's been going to therapy. Good for her. She asks about you, a lot. Wanted me to feel you out, see if you'd consider trying again. Not a chance. I told her that, but she's convinced you're her one that got away now. It's honestly kind of sad. She had a good guy who didn't judge her for her past, and she fucked it up by constantly rubbing that past in your face. We finished our coffee and went our separate ways. But Melanie had confirmed what I'd suspected from the texts. Rachel was experiencing what I'd felt during our relationship, being compared and found wanting. Except she was doing it to herself. The real kicker came last week. I was at the climbing gym with Maya. Yes, we're still friends. No, we've never hooked up. When Rachel walked in, she froze when she saw us. I didn't know you climbed, I said, being polite. I just started trying new things. She looked between me and Maya, then quickly away. I should go. You don't have to leave, Maya said kindly. Gym's big enough for everyone. But Rachel was already backing toward the door. No, I forgot something. She practically ran out. Was that the ex? Maya asked. Yeah, the one who was weird about body counts? That's the one. Maya shook her head. I'll never understand people who turn their sexual history into a competition. Like, congrats? You've had sex? So have billions of other people? And that really summed it up perfectly. Rachel had turned something that didn't matter into her entire personality. She'd used it as a weapon, a way to feel superior, a tool for manipulation. And when faced with someone who had more but didn't care about it, her whole worldview collapsed. The number never bothered me. 4, 23, 50, who cares? What bothered me was the constant comparisons, the need to make me feel like I was competing with ghosts, the subtle message that I should be grateful she chose me despite having better options. She played a stupid game and won a stupid prize. She wanted me to feel insecure about her experience, to feel like I needed to work harder to measure up to her past lovers. Instead, she ended up being the insecure one, realizing too late that numbers don't mean anything if you don't have someone who actually values you for you. Last I heard from Melanie, Rachel's still single, still trying to figure out why she can't seem to make relationships work anymore. Me? I'm doing great. Still hitting the climbing gym with Maya and others. Dating casually, nothing serious yet. But when I do find someone, you can bet I won't give a damn about their number. And I sure as hell won't let them weaponize it against me. Funny how the person who was so proud of their high body count ended up being the one who couldn't handle it when someone else's was higher. But I guess that's what happens when you base your entire self-worth on how many people you've slept with. The moment she realized why I wasn't bothered by her number, it wasn't because I was desperate like she thought. It was because I genuinely didn't care. And that indifference to something she'd built her whole identity around, that shattered her more than any argument ever could.